Capital News tonight. President Samia Suluhu Hassan says the government is finalizing the process to get COVID-19 vaccines. Gaeta Secondary is closed after a third fire occurs at the school. And in sports news, Tanzania plays together with Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo in the Under-23 Sekafa Challenge Cup tournament. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, has said the government is finalizing the process to get coronavirus vaccine, but reiterated that the vaccine is not mandatory. President Samia Suluhu Hassan made the statement in Dar es Salaam when addressing a special symposium held to commemorate the late retired President Benjamin Mkapa 1 year after his death on July 23, 2020.
Serikali tunaendelea kuchukua hatua mbalimbali.
The government continues to take various measures to deal with the disease, and we are currently finalizing the procedure for prescribing immunization for anyone who needs vaccination services should be available.
Mheshimiwa Samia Suluhu Hassan alivyokuja akasema kazi iendelee, akachukua mkakati.
When she got into power, she said the work should continue. She took a satisfactory strategy. She formed a committee of experts, and they satisfied themselves by using world information that had already been used and made their recommendation that we can now use certain types of vaccines and outlined their benefits.
Addressing the symposium, President Samia Suluhu Hassan said that the late Benjamin Mkapa will be remembered for his strong leadership in and out of the country, while President Dr. Hussein Mwinyi of Zanzibar said the Benjamin Mkapa Foundation has contributed to big developments in the health sector.
Nitakuwa sijaongeza chumvi nikisema
I would certainly not exaggerate to say that our nation's history book could not be complete without the whole chapter to describe the third-term president, the late Benjamin William Mkapa. But also because of the great reforms he has made for our country. We all know during his tenure how he undertook major economic reforms in the country.
Zanzibar tunatekeleza dira ya maendeleo ya 2050 ambayo inalenga kuifikisha Zanzibar kwa nchi ya uchumi wa kati wa juu, yani upper middle income status, ifikapo mwaka 2050. Ni katika muktadha huu tunawakaribisha sana taasisi ya Benjamin Mkapa kushirikiana kujenga mifumo ya kuwezesha upatikanaji wa huduma bora za afya ambazo zinafikiwa na wote, zinazotolewa na watoa huduma wenye sifa na zinazoendana na teknolojia.
Other leaders present at the occasion included retired President Dr. Jakaya Kikwete, as well as the chair and CEO of the Benjamin Mkapa Foundation.
I'm happy to say that the Benjamin Mkapa Foundation was born, grew, and thrived during my administration. I gave them all the necessary support they needed to make sure that it stands on its feet and it performs its objectives, its mission and vision. At the time of its establishment, our country was in the grip of the menace of HIV and AIDS.
Mfuko huu unalenga watu kuchangia, tuchangie katika.
This fund is for the people to contribute, Tanzanians and stakeholders who can contribute so that we can build ourselves to promote these services.
Kubwa kutambua mchango wa Mzee Mkapa wakati akiwa.
Most importantly is to recognize the contribution of Mzee Mkapa when he was the president and after he retired and established this institution. As you have heard, they all made a reflection of the time they worked with him and what kind of person he was.
Fanya reflection wakati Mkapa akiwa madarakani, walifanya naye kazi vipi na ni mtu wa namna gani.
The government in Geita has closed for a period of 2 weeks Geita Secondary School and expelled 11 students and transferred more than 10 teachers from the school after a dormitory was razed by a fire last night. In the incident, 3 students were injured. This is the third fire that occurs at the school within a month.
There are 11 students who have shown a lack of discipline and other criminal offenses which they started making long ago. They were discussed at the board meetings. We have agreed with the board to take disciplinary actions, including dismissing them from school. We have also agreed that there are students with criminal offenses. Stern action should be taken. Dismissal of school alone is not enough. Students who are found with knives, rape, and threatening others, also action should be taken against them. Discipline procedures should be taken to principal of school through the Regional Administrative Secretary Office, but there are also 13 teachers who have warning letters and have shown irresponsibility. Also, Regional Administrative Secretary, together with the Director, should remove them from this center, and until the 21st July, implementation has to be done.
Investigations are ongoing. From the incident, 3 pupils were wounded and taken for further treatment at Geita Referral Hospital, whom right now they are doing well. Apart from them, the head teacher also collapsed from school when received news of the fire. Meanwhile, in Tanga region, a fire has gutted 3 classrooms and 2 teachers' offices at Amani Primary School in Handeni district in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Handeni District Commissioner Cyril Mchembe has said several people have been arrested by the police for questioning on the incident.
At 8 o'clock, we have received a report that a primary school is burning. We arrived here and found 3 classes burning along with the teacher's office. The investigation is still underway.
Tumeviacha vyombo vya dola vifanye kazi yake na tayari kuna watu ambao siwezi kuwataja.
This matter is under responsible organs for now, and there are people who are arrested and being interviewed to give us a clear picture of what really happened. Damage done is huge. As you have seen, all teachers' office documents have been burned. We request various stakeholders to help students and find other materials to provide teachers to teach. We have given 14 days to the director to create a space for students to study. So there is a short-term solution to this problem.
Kwa hiyo tunaomba wadau mbalimbali wanaoweza kusaidia wale wanafunzi madaftari.
The Minister of Works and Transport, Dr. Leonard Chamoriho, has said construction of the standard gauge railway has contributed to increase of job creation, particularly among the youth. Minister Chamoriho made the statement in Dar es Salaam after witnessing signing of an agreement between Tanzania Railway Corporation and South Korean company Hyundai after construction of train engines and wagons.
The first contract covers electric trains, according to the chief executive, $100 million, 0.5, and the second contract is $105 million, 0.1, so the total is $396 for 10 pairs of electric trains and 17 train heads. We could have connected from Pugu to Morogoro by the end of August. We have completed it earlier than we had anticipated. Few parts are left. When they finish repairing the bridges and the cars start to pass, then we can start from Dar es Salaam Pugu to Morogoro.
Swala la kwanza ni upatikanaji wa vifaa ikiwa pamoja na treni yenyewe.
The first issue is the availability of equipment, including the train itself, meaning it will not make sense if we build a railway and do not have a train. But with this agreement, we believe when the railway is completed, then the train will also start working.
Traders from shops which were destroyed by fire at Dar es Salaam's Kariakor market on Saturday night have urged the government to address their concerns after incurring heavy losses from the fire as well as looting during the incident. They voiced their concerns while removing remaining goods from the shops.
Issue nzima inaonekana kwamba waliopata hasara ni wale ambao wameunguliwa mzigo, lakini hata sisi wa nje kwenye vigoli ni kama tumeunguliwa.
It looks like those whose goods were burnt are the ones who have suffered the most. But even us, who are operating from outside, have also been affected because some of our merchandise are wet and other items have smoky smell. We can't sell them anymore. Unfortunately, the government gives priority to those whose goods were burnt from the fire.
Moto ulikuwa umewaka, tulikuwa tumeshinda majumbani. Kwa mfano mimi nilirudi mnamo kama saa 6 hivi.
After the fire news broke, I came back around midnight only to find my stall broken, where I lost some goods, although I managed to save a few.
Niweka eneo hili hapa, tukahakishiwa askari wakatuambia tuondoke, wale wa askari wa makampuni ya ulinzi ya kawaida.
Research on Poverty Alleviation, RIPOA, has released a study on the economic situation since the start of the 2021, which shows that 78% of Tanzanians believe the economy is improving, and it has benefited individual Tanzanians due to increase in money circulation despite challenges caused by the coronavirus pandemic in the country.
Utaona kwamba katika uwasilisho wa utafiti walionyesha maeneo ambayo wanadhani yanahitaji msukumo zaidi kwa upande wa serikali. Walizungumzia swala la afya, walizungumzia swala la miundombinu, walizungumzia swala la maji, patikanaji wa maji, walizungumzia pia masuala ya elimu. Kwa hiyo kwamba wanasema tunaona kwamba uchumi unaimarika, wana matarajio kwamba uchumi utaendelea kukua na kwamba wao sasa hali zao za maisha zitabadilika. Lakini wanasema maeneo ambayo bado tunayaona yanapaswa kupewa kipaumbele ni haya ambayo yametaja.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa,
the show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
Now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
Welcome back, and in international news. Violence and looting has raged in South Africa for the 6th day running, stoking fearing of food and fuel shortage as a disruption to farming, manufacturing and oil refining began to bite amid the country's worst unrest in decades. Here's more on the report.
More than 70 people have died as grievances over the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma have widened into an outpouring of anger over the inequality that remains 27 years after the end of apartheid. More than 1,200 people have been arrested in the lawlessness that has raged in poor areas of 2 provinces, where a community radio station was ransacked and forced off air on Tuesday, and some COVID-19 vaccination centers were closed, disrupting urgently needed inoculations. The deployment of 2,500 soldiers to support the overwhelmed South African police has so far failed to stop the rampant looting.
Activists in Uganda are pressurizing the government to come up with alternative means of enabling citizens continue with income-generating activities. They're also calling for the removal of the lockdown as it has affected economic activities.
Without a plan, we don't know what will happen after 42 days.
Without a plan, we do not know what will happen after 42 days. Because people are not being vaccinated. Then we say after 42 days they are protected. What would have changed after 42 days? The first thing that we implicated was absolute and urgent, was to change the legal framework that the management of the pandemic is concerned. As European countries see a surge in COVID-19 cases, the government wants to implement new strategies to get people vaccinated, and those strategies may vary from one country to another. For more on this, we are joined with a DW correspondent, Emmanuel Shays. Now, Emmanuel, with the surge of COVID cases in Europe, what is the situation like?
Overall in Europe, we see a surge in Delta variant cases at a time when people are moving around quite a lot due to summer holidays. Here in Germany, the incidence rate is on the rise again, not to a dramatic level at around 7 new infections per 100,000 inhabitants, but still enough of a worry to prompt discussions as to how to contain this surge, how to prevent a fourth wave of infections. One of the key factors to try and curb those new infections being vaccination. And here in Europe, the vaccination has indeed picked up, but there's still reason to worry. If you look at the Netherlands, for example, well, there is a 500% spike in the number of coronavirus infections recorded this week only, and this comes after the government's decision to scrap nearly all restrictions in late June.
So one of the most controversial measures is making the vaccine mandatory. Is this likely to happen?
French President Emmanuel Macron announced that a vaccine would become mandatory for medical personnel and that a sanitary pass would be necessary to access places of socialization, restaurants, cultural events, and this in fact prompted 1.3 million people to register for a vaccination on the very same evening of the announcement. Mandatory vaccination is also being imposed in Greece for nursing home staff and health workers, and the country is even offering incentives such as money or free mobile data to try and get more people getting vaccinated. Here in Germany, Chancellor Angela Merkel said it would not become mandatory, but she advocated a more pedagogical approach to get more people willingly taking the jab.
What is done in terms of vaccination?
In terms of vaccination, in the United Kingdom, over 80 million of vaccine doses have been administered. In France, it's almost 60 million, quite the same as Italy. And here in Germany, 84 million doses have been administered. It means that more than 40% of the population here in Germany is right now fully vaccinated. Even if Angela Merkel also acknowledged that, for example, when it comes to the vaccination of children, there was still a long way to go. There's also new vaccination strategies such as drive-in mobile vaccination being implemented to offer it spontaneously to the people. We will see just how efficient are the vaccines in the coming months, and especially how it reduces the number of serious cases and how efficient it is against new mutations which are highly likely to happen.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for those updates. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next after the break. We'll be back.
Tune in to Business Edition and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. Farmers in Manyara region have produced more than 98,000 tons of sunflower seeds during July 2020 and July 2021 and earned a profit of 49 billion shillings from the crop, exceeding the region's target of producing 72,000 tons. 98,000 tons was produced in Babati, which was sold by 49 million shillings. Productions made was 139%, which exceeded the target of producing 72,000 tons.
Ni kweli kwamba tunalima mazao haya alizeti kwa maeneo ya kwetu kule.
We do grow sunflower and even process the seeds into oil. Many small factories at Haidom and elsewhere in the region. The good thing is that sunflower oil is now in high demand in the country.
Na wakati mwingine tunatumia alizeti yetu. Lakini pia nashukuru Mungu sasa hivi alizeti pia mafuta yale yamekuwa yanaaminiwa zaidi na watumiaji.
Mobile phone company Vodacom has said they have empowered many entrepreneurs economically by increasing their capital through Tukuze Biashara program.
Pamoja na huduma ambayo inaitwa Ifahamu, ni huduma ambayo wateja wetu kwa kutumia mtandao wetu wanaweza wakaingia katika mitandao na kujifunza bure, si lazima wawe na kifurushi chochote.
Moving on, the government of Germany has said it is committed to invite investors from the country to come and invest in sisal farming as well as construction of industries that will produce products from the crop.
So the demand for sisal is growing, and that's why we have been talking how Germany could maybe help in improving the production of sisal, increasing, helping the smallholder farmers. I was told that even the car industry uses sisal now, and Germany is big in car industry. But as an ambassador, I cannot order the German car industry to come here and buy sisal, but I can try and interest them. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn more about sisal. The acting director of the sisal board will show me a farm, so I understand better.
Sote tunafahamu kwamba kilimo bila financing ni kitu ambacho hakiwezekani.
We all know that a culture without finances is equal to zero. Our farms' conditions are very bad. That is why we ask for grants from the government of Germany, where the funds will be given to small-scale farmers as loans. Money will be paid in installments after their harvest.
Wanakatwa kidogo kidogo, ile pesa inarudi kwa ajili ya kuwezesha wakulima wengine wengi zaidi ili tuenee nchi nzima.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Marquinhos, he did lose to Lent.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Tanzania has been pulled in Group A of the CECAFA Under-23 Challenge Cup, scheduled to be played from July 17th to August 1st in Ethiopia. Here's more of the story.
Have been grouped with Djibouti and South Sudan, hoping to top the group. Group A is comprised of defending champions Uganda, Tanzania, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, who come in as visitors. The hosts are in Group B with Burundi and Eritrea. Tanzania will start the competition against DR Congo in July 22nd at 16 hours.
Azam FC have reportedly sealed the signing of midfielder Kenneth Muguna from Gor Mahia. Here's more.
The talented Kenyan international has been linked with a move away from the reigning Football Kenya Federation Premier League champions after the expiry of his contract at the end of this season. With 2016 league MVP free to negotiate with other teams, Azam have taken their chance and lured the player to Tanzania. The 2014 Tanzania Mainland League champions have been chasing the 25-year-old for some time, and it seems they have beaten rivals Yanga Sports Club to the signature of the influential midfielder.
Manchester United have dealt a significant blow with Marcus Rashford, deciding he needs a surgery on a shoulder injury. Here's more on the story.
The striker, who has endured racist abuse after his missed penalty in England's Euro 2020 final defeat to Italy on Sunday, may not be available for United until the end of October. 23-year-old Rashford was hampered by the shoulder muscle tear last season and was picked in the European Championship squad despite not being 100% fit. He underwent a scan on Tuesday, and a decision was taken that surgery was the only option. However, it is understood the operation will not take place for a couple of weeks. It is likely he will be out of action for 12 weeks following the procedure, but has an outstanding chance of returning for United's Premier League match against Liverpool at Old Trafford on 23rd of October.
And Johanna Konta and Roger Federer have both withdrawn from the Tokyo Olympics.
Konta has revealed she has been suffering with the after effects of COVID-19 after a member of the British tennis stars team tested positive in the build-up to Wimbledon. While she was self-isolating, Konta has since tested positive for the virus. In a statement on social media, she said as a result she has been unable to train for the last 2.5 weeks, and sadly this has put her body in a situation where she is unable to ask it to be fully ready in time for the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Federer, runner-up to Andy Murray in the gold medal match at London 2012, said on Twitter, during the grass court season, he unfortunately experienced a setback with his knee and have accepted that he must withdraw from the Tokyo Olympic Games.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.
Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget, subscribe